Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to G Bear's Off-Grid Ways, a homestead in the desert. Here we are on April 20th, 2021. And I forgot to mention yesterday, but yesterday was the 1 month anniversary of the chicks arriving on the homestead. So they are now 4 weeks and 3 days old. So we can keep that in mind, and I'll be showing you them in a little while because we're going to go in there and hook up that Chick Safe ECO door opener closer. And I've already set up down there with the tripod and all of that. But I had promised Mike Smith that I would show the filtration system I use. It's pretty compact. It fits underneath my sink on a shelf. And this is the one I use right here, the WHAM BS5. This one uses the same filters, but it's a different setup, and it mounts on a wall or a cabinet wall or something like that. I like this one because it was a little bit more compact and easier to use. And these are the 3 filters that come with it right here. Now, this reduces chlorine, sediment, cysts, lead, chemicals, bacteria and virus, and pharmaceuticals. Okay, so it's a really good unit. Now, it says 6-month filter life. They all do that. That's a safety factor. And these filters are number WHEM BF. But the 6 months, there's a little timer in the water spout that mounts on the sink, so you get your fresh water out of that. There's a timer built into that with a little battery. So at 6 months, that thing will start flashing and tell you it's time to change your filters. Well, I just take the battery out, replace it, or I don't replace it, just pull it out and put it back in, and then close the system back up. And I'll go 12 months on it. Of course, it's just me using the water filtration system. So I use it daily, but maybe a gallon of water through the system a day. I'm not going to change it every 6 months. That would be ridiculous. Not cheap. I think these are over $100 for the filters, but does a good job. And it's kept me safe all these years. So speaking of all these years, as we head down to the chicken coop, I'm going to mention that another landmark date for the homestead is that on Friday, we'll start the year 5 of homesteading the desert. And I'm trying to think of something special I could do for that day. But one thing to note is that in the playlists on my channel, the playlist name will change from the 4th year to the 5th year. So make note of that. So if you're looking up old videos, you have to go back to the playlist that's named the 4th year. Okay? All right, so here we are. The kids are outside here. They found the perches over here with the old grapevine, and they kind of like getting up there. So they love when the door opens in the morning and they come running out to see what's new, what the new adventure is. All right, so here's the unit, and I've already done some preliminaries, but tools you'll need. You'll need a tape measure. You'll need a pencil and either a 1/8" drill or one of these little ice pick awls, and a screwdriver or a screw gun. I prefer the screw gun because it's a little quicker. All right, so here's what we have to do. I've already done part of it. I've disconnected the old pull string that I had on here to do manual that used to go through the eyelet here and then tie onto this screw right here because the new system's going on. Okay, so I want to find the center of the door and measure up 6.5 inches. And then what I do is I mark on both sides of the tape measure at the same 6.5 inches high. Okay, and then you want to be 4 3/4 inches apart. So off center, that would be 2 3/8 inches this way and 2 3/8 inches this way. So if you measure up off the door at 6 1/2 and 6 1/2, put a line, and then measure 2 3/8 and 2 3/8, put a line, and now you got your little crosses there. So then you're going to take your little ice pick or your 1/8 inch drill, whichever you're using, and get right on that mark and start a hole. That's so the screw has some place to go without slipping around. Okay. Some people will just put the screw, I'm sorry about the wind, it's come up again. It's not supposed to have started until 4 p.m. this afternoon, but it's here. Okay, so I've started the holes there for the 2 positions. All right, now one other thing I want to mention is do not put the battery pack in until this thing is mounted and tied to the door. Now I brought the door to its full open position, and I took the screw that I had as a stop in here and I shot it into the door itself. So right now it's at its full open position and it's held there. You want it to be held. You can put a stick underneath it or any other way you want to support it. Just make sure it stays in a full open position at that point. And it's got to have a solid stop at the bottom. When it gets down to the bottom, it's got to sit there and stop on something. So it can't just be hanging up free. Like you can't put it up here and not have a stop at the bottom, because it'll just keep on going down. All right. So with that being said, I'm going to transfer the phone to the tripod and get it adjusted. Okay, let's see, where are we? I can see the marks. There they are. And there's the top of the door. So I think that'll do it for a good setup. All right, so it comes with all of the hardware you need, and it's pretty simple. Like I said, this is so easy that anybody could do it. So I got my screw gun and my screws. I'm going to get it started in the hole and shoot it in until about 1/4 inch sticks out. Okay, and then do the same thing on this side. That's about right. All right. Here's the ECO Safe. Comes with a string. Don't mess with that for right now. There's nothing that you have to mess with. The only thing that makes it easier is if you take the top cover off at this point, and that's where your batteries are going to go. But this also allows you to see where the 2 screws are going to hang on this thing. So you can help line it a lot easier. So you just put it in like that, snap it down into place, and that's it. Okay, now, still not going to put the batteries in yet. First thing we got to do is get this thing ready to tie up here. So, I like to put a few extra knots in it to make sure that it stays in place. All right. One last one here, if I can get it. My big clumsy fingers now. Okay, so that's in place. Now, next thing we're going to do is take the holder out of the door so that it hangs on the string. Okay? Now, I already put the batteries in. The batteries come 2 in a pack and wrapped in cellophane. And I already put those in so that it was in the holder. So now here we go. We're going to take the battery pack and plug it in like that and put it into its little holder place here. And that's it. Last step, snap the cover back on. We're done. That's all there is to it. Now, the sensor inside automatically senses that this is the full open position, so that's where it will stop when it opens every morning. When it goes down the first night after the sun sets tonight and it touches the bottom, it takes the weight off of the string because the door is stopped, and the computer inside of here decides, well, that's where the stop is, so it shuts off. And this door does not go real fast, so it won't kill a chicken if a chicken's stuck in there. It goes really slow. So if a chicken is halfway through the door, it's going to start coming down and they're going to go one way or the other. I found that the chickens usually are inside the coop, inside of one of the nesting boxes, or on the perch before this thing even starts coming down at all. And it goes down real slow and it comes up real slow. So that's all there is to it, everybody. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope the wind didn't drown me out too badly. And maybe we'll have a second video later today, because I'm going to start working on the solar panels. If not, I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget thumbs ups, and don't forget to subscribe. G Bear signing off.